Guys, let's start here with Bitcoin. The market is in an exceedingly complex scenario, indeed a scenario of a lot of uncertainty, which indeed makes many people extremely afraid. And institutions use this to create positions and manipulate the price as they see fit in the way they think is best. So, I will share with you in this video what we can see and discuss in detail what the various possibilities for the next potential future moves are. It is abundantly clear that this particular scenario is indeed very complex and intricate, right? It is a scenario that we very rarely see in the market, isn't it? Which generates a lot of uncertainty, which generates a lot of fear. So even experienced traders end up getting lost in this scenario. So I will explain in great detail to you all exactly what our decision-making process is and thoroughly what we will look for and our criteria for opening new positions. We will certainly have very good opportunities, okay? Really very good, because generally most of the time it's in panic, it's in fear that the best opportunities are. So I will start here with Bitcoin. This analysis you are seeing here was the analysis I shared yesterday in the VIP group, okay? If I'm not mistaken, I even shared it in the free group. And what do we have here? It appears that the price action has captured the liquidity from our SESL, which stands for Significant Event Swing Low. This SESL is specifically the low point of the previous trading week. In other words, below this low, in this particular region, there is a significant amount of liquidity, and the price is capturing this liquidity precisely at this momentarily. But what do we need here to definitely take our long position? It's very risky, but what do we need here? We don't enter this position by buying all at once just because liquidity was definitely captured. The confirmation of liquidity capture comes after the price makes the capture move. The price will then align the flow. What would this flow alignment be? This flow alignment would be the price forming a bullish microstructure, breaking our previous high, which we call the jockey. In other words, what I expect for the price here to take a buying position is for the price to form a bullish microstructure, that is, to wait for a bullish flow alignment here. If it doesn't occur, I sincerely hope that our broad macro view and perspective will eventually materialize as we have anticipated and planned. This macro view consists of the price capturing liquidity below the previous month's low, which is indeed much more significant liquidity than that of the previous week. In other words, after capturing the previous month's liquidity in this region, there is really significantly a lot of liquidity here. What do I expect the price to do? I expect the price to reach the 50% Fibonacci region at a minimum of this impulse, because the theory says that every impulse needs to correct 50% to be a true movement, to be a solid movement. In other words, essentially for this uptrend to remain fundamentally solid, we need to correct, we need a pullback at least to the 50% Fibonacci region or area, approximately. And the 50% region of the Fibonacci is confluent with our block, right? With our order block, right? This order block is an order block that is specifically situated between one imbalance and another. In other words, it is essentially a very strong order block. I expect the price to significantly capture the liquidity of the previous month's low, touch our order block, and then reverse. If the market continues with this negative scenario it is currently presenting to us, we will indeed wait for the same thing we would expect here in the LTF and beyond. We are going to wait patiently for a flow alignment in the market against building higher highs and higher lows. Then we will definitely take our position. There is absolutely no point in trying to guess where the bottom will be in this particular scenario. Everything in the market has a specific contextual context, so this downward movement also has a context. It is very likely that to start an upward movement, we will indeed capture liquidity below the previous month's low, which aligns perfectly and precisely with 50% of the Fibonacci plus the order block. So coming back here, let's talk about short positions now, okay? The possibilities we have right now. We have here two very important order blocks that were formed recently. Look, actually in this very particular scenario, in this upper order block, I could even perhaps build, a position with a limit order, okay? Easy. I could build this position here with a limit order because the price would have already captured the liquidity in this order block. In other words, essentially, this position in this particular spot here would be a more favorable position, so to speak. In this scenario, in this first order block, it would be interesting to wait for a flow alignment for the price to continue its decline. It would be the development of a shock. It would be very crucial for this to happen in this situation for us to take a short position. If you want to sell assuming the potential risk with a limit order, you can take 50% of the transaction order block here. You place your stop loss order close to the APOC here. The stop loss order would be quite elevated and the risk reward ratio would not be advantageous. That's why the second transaction order block is more intriguing. But the downward movement to continue this price decline would be very interesting indeed. Our position could be at 50% of the Fibonacci. But our stop loss would need to be effectively protected and secured up there. The risk reward wouldn't be good. Ideally, it should be up here in the upper region. But we have these additional possibilities to sell in the market more clearly. We have this initial order block zone, which is the FVAB, Fire Value Accumulation Block, an order block between one fire value gap and another. So we can definitely see this potential possibility. Here we also have the altcoin AVAX, which I am keeping an eye on, waiting for the cryptocurrency opportunity. The price is moving towards a very significant and crucial area. That very significant and crucial region is indeed there. It's here close to $20, so I will be waiting to see how Bitcoin developments and altcoin trends leading to more informed decisions develop before taking any calculated position. But certainly it's a very good position to accumulate AVAX here, believing in an upward breakout movement. However, we also need to monitor closely the overall Bitcoin's dominance in the market and overall market trends as well. Why? Because dominance essentially indicates where the altcoins might potentially go. And in terms of dominance here, we have the following. We came from a bearish movement, but what did we notice? We noticed that even with the dominance dropping very significantly, the altcoins did not continue the upward price movement. And why did this happen? This happened because Bitcoin was dragging the altcoins down. Unfortunately, altcoins are still dependent on Bitcoin. I hope that one day they stop being, right? Come to achieve a market cap so large that they don't need to depend on Bitcoin, but for now they still do. So, if this order block, which is here along with our POC, if this order block can hold the price, can keep the price below it, then we might see a breather in the altcoins and the start of an upward movement, in the altcoins. Regarding Bitcoin, I'm still a bit more undecided because I believe Bitcoin will want to seize and capture this liquidity here. Indeed, the liquidity below $50, $500. In my personal opinion, I still believe Bitcoin wants to capture this liquidity and more. So my buy position in Bitcoin is in the region starting at $53,150 up to $5,400. Within this green rectangle here, we can look for opportunities for both scalping and swing trading. Let's stay alert to the market because we might see a continuation of the decline. To buy, let's wait for some confirmations carefully, and to sell, let's wait for the price to form a pullback thoroughly. There's no need to be anxious or to anticipate positions that sometimes don't make sense. The market is made of cycles, it is made of phases. Before making any decisions, be patient and wait for the right moment and avoid hasty decisions. So just as this phase of downward correction is inevitably coming, the upward phase will eventually come as well. So you don't need to rush, you can definitely create your plan. After you carefully create your plan, what are you going to do? You are going to execute your plan. And that's how the market works. And that's it. If you're not in our group, please join the group right now, okay? Please join the free group, and if you can, definitely join the VIP group where you'll be able to seize more opportunities with us, because we'll be sharing much more content, both educational and money-making opportunities. All right? So join in.